Most relationships don't implode and they don't explode. No, they mostly quietly erode. So the culprits aren't big betrayals or big events. They're quiet, hidden behaviors that you are doing over time.
And if you don't spot these patterns, you'll go from thinking you're keeping the peace to actually losing the relationship. And then over time, you will actually create dread, loneliness, anxiety, and disconnection in your relationship. And you'll reach that point where you turn to each other and say, how did we get here?
The answer's in this video. So today we're going to cover the 5 hidden behavior patterns that you're doing that's causing disconnection in your relationship. And we're going to give you the tools on how to fix them this week.
Hi, we're Jeff and Ellen, Relationship Mechanics. So why don't you pull yours into our shop? We'll tighten some bolts and we'll give you a really good tune-up.
So grab a drink and your notepad and let's begin. Okay, let's get started. What are we talking about today?
We are talking about, hold on. I'm going to take my cheers drink. We are talking about habits in relationship, behaviors that couples do. Actually, it's in any relationship, not just romantic. Anyway, where you are repeating the same behaviors in your communication, thinking that you have a communication problem, when in fact you actually have a habit problem.
So I want to talk about a client that I coached this week.
Okay.
They come in on their forms saying that they have communication issues, and he says we have communication issues, which all couples say, but we want to get below the waterline in what the problem is. And you know, they were pointing fingers at each other on what the person was doing or not doing without understanding clearly what the pattern was. He was running around doing all the things. He was trying to fix things, do things. His approach was happy wife, happy life. I'll just do more and more and more.
Right.
But he was feeling unappreciated.
Right.
Because he kept doing and doing and doing and doing, thinking that's the path to happiness.
Right. Eventually, I will do and do and do, and she will have to eventually be so pleased.
Eventually.
And, yeah, I'll remove all burden, all weight. I'll hit the behaviors she's looking for, and then she's going to be so happy, relaxed in life, and then we're going to have this great connection.
She's not happy.
Yeah.
She's coming on the attack, saying, you're not doing this, you're not doing this. And so she's upset, feeling like she doesn't have a partner. He's upset, feeling he's not being appreciated because he's running around doing all these things. And so their communication issues are really just habits of patterns or their relational stance on what happens when conflict arises. When contrast happens in the relationship, what does he do and what does she do that causes that disconnection? And so the key thing was pointing it out, the habit. This is your habit, and this is your habit.
Right.
And that's when the penny dropped, because the awareness was half the battle for them. So now they know what their work is. Yeah,
actually awareness sometimes is even much more than half, because once you know what you're doing, it becomes obvious, oh, let's not do that.
And so just identifying what is your habit in conflict and what is my habit in conflict helps us to identify what my area of growth is and what your area of growth is, so that once we've named it, then we can tame it.
Ooh, nice rhyme. Okay, so number 1 is silence.
Yep.
So this is where you move to saying nothing, because you perceive that conflict is actually scarier than the problem itself. So better not to go there and say nothing than actually address the issue.
Why that's a problem? That habit means that your anger, your upset, your frustration isn't going anywhere. It's just staying in your emotional body, and it's building. It's festering. And this is where resentment comes up. You have things you want to say, but you keep it inside. And so that's not really keeping the peace. That just means that the war is not happening. Yeah. There's no shooting.
It's a silent war, and it's gone underground. And the energy is actually coming out in other small, wonky ways. Your partner feels it. They can't necessarily name it, but it's there.
Oh, they can feel the heat. The couple I just spoke about, she could feel it. She knew when he was moving to silence. She knew there was a problem, but he just wasn't speaking it. And so it's almost a power trip. It's almost like, I'm not going to play the card of using my voice. No. I'm going to withdraw my voice. So you have nothing to say against me.
And it comes out actually really strong when when you know the person, you're with them and you communicate with them day in and day out. So you actually know on an unconscious level, you know the patterns.
Yeah.
And so I know when you move to silence, not because you've done it so blatantly, like I'm not speaking, but actually it's because why are you not talking? You usually talk here. Or you usually respond to my play. If I throw something out and say, "Hey, babe," and there's nothing back, I'm like,
and I just
why the silence?
I stop catching the ball, and I'm like, and you can feel it energetically. You can feel it. It is speaking quite loud.
Yeah.
And so, the antidote, or the area of growth for this, would be getting it out.
Yeah, speak up.
And yes, that growth is for you to use your voice. So that might be a one sentence, which is, "Hey, teammate, I have stuff I want to say for us to get along," or "I have a different point of view and I want to share it."
Or "I have something that's keeping me from feeling connected with you. Can we address that?"
Or even like really bold to say, "I want to say something, but I'm scared. I'm worried that me saying stuff is going to cause an argument, or I'm worried that I'm going to hurt your feelings, or you're going to be angry. And so that's why I'm doing this pattern, this habit of being silent."
And what helps, though, is to think through, so you can get it down to a sentence or two, so that when you do address it, your nerves and your anxiety that is in your nervous system doesn't come out into like, a 30-minute monologue, because you will lose them and you will overwhelm them. And then you will make yourself think, see, speaking up is not the way to do it. Silence is better. And we don't want that to happen. So think through what you want to say, get it down to like 1 or 2 sentences, and then start.
So the reframe is, your voice is not a threat. Using your voice is a bridge for connection.
So the second one is being the fixer. And that means you are stepping in, you hear or see some distress, and you jump in and you start fixing right away. You go right to solutions and you'll fix it. And you're that person that comes in and you'll solve it. And the issue is...
whether it's a problem or not, you're solving anything.
And then the thing is you keep solving, you feel unseen, you start to build resentment, you exhaust yourself.
You're kind of bitter because you're like, my day is filled solving and fixing problems that I've identified.
Other person.
Whether they've said it or not.
Yes.
And I keep doing and solving, rescuing. And then you're left like, what about my needs? What about, do I get the spotlight at some point? And because you don't feel like you can, that's the bitterness. That's like the...
Because there's always another problem or another issue to always fix. So when is it your turn? You're never getting off this fixer hamster wheel.
And you never get the high five, the gold star that you're looking for, going, look, I fixed all these things. There's nothing.
Yeah.
And so you just feel like, what am I doing? Like, when will it end? When is my to-do list over?
And why am I not being appreciated for all that I bring here? And so the issue is that you are fixing things that no one has actually asked you to fix. You are solving when sometimes the other person or your partner isn't looking for a solution. So some of the things you can do instead is stop and ask first. Before you jump into fix, pause. And ask before you jump into action. And ask things like, hey,
how can I help?
How can I help? Or
that was mine.
Or do you want me to help you with this, or might you just want a sounding board? I'm just here to listen.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's the check-in. What is the engagement quality that I'm doing? Am I here to give advice, or do you want me just to listen? And then allow the other person to give you the answer. If they say, I just want you to listen, then shut the toolbox.
It's really important for the relationship, right? For both of you, so that the relationship is healthy.
Yeah.
That you let your partner lead. It is their life. Let them lead and let them invite you into helping.
Yeah, help where help is needed, not where you think it's needed. Because then you're allowing, you're not overdoing and you're not underdoing. You're sort of like in between the two of you, you're co-creating that experience together. So really asking yourself, you can ask your partner, but you can also ask yourself, where am I over-functioning? Where am I over-performing? Where am I overdoing it?
And remember, keep in mind that people don't want to be solved. They're not puzzles to be solved. They want connection.
We built a free workbook called the Relationship Habit Reset. And in this guide, there's reflection questions, there's some scripts to use, and some action steps so you can identify your behavioral pattern and change it.
So download it right now. Link is in the description below, and keep it on your phone.
Number 3 is attacking. I think I'm bringing this up because I'm getting...
Over to you?
I'm getting the side glance right here. So what it is that you feel pain, you get triggered by something, your energy escalates, and then you overpower the other person, scaring them, which in the very short term, it works, but the next day, regret happens.
Yeah.
And you feel really bad because now connection is gone.
And you erode safety in the relationship. Sometimes clients refer to it as like, I don't trust my partner, and what they're saying is I don't feel safe because when is that eruption going to happen? And the thing about anger is when we get, it's a natural emotion, so we don't want to avoid feeling anger. It's how we're expressing it and how we're using it, because it's a really important emotion, and anger sometimes gets a bad rap.
Yeah, because anger is covering over the pain and the hurt that is not being spoken. Right. So the anger gets spoken, but the unmet need just rides under the radar and is never voiced.
And usually it's feelings of hurt, sadness, fear, a lot of emotion that we're taught not to express or share, we're not supposed to have. And so the best way to avoid then owning or admitting that we have it
is come on the attack. But then it's all armor up, shields up, and then we're in an all-out battle. And so the reframe is, beneath your anger are needs that really do need to get spoken. And so instead of coming out with, I don't need your crap, speak about the need that you do have, which is, I have a need to be listened to.
I have a need for reassurance.
I'm feeling abandoned, and I need your connection.
I need a plan for today so I know how to focus my energy.
Yeah, things like that, to speak your need out there. That's your area of growth, because once you can name your need, both you know it, and then your partner then does know what the need is.
So number 4 is avoiding, sometimes experienced as ghosting too. Yeah. And so it's different from silence. Silence just is where you stop talking.
But you're in the room.
Avoiding is actually where you're not in the room.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. So you find reasons to be busy, you have to go somewhere. And it can also be changing topics. Like, hey, can we talk about, in 1 second, I just have to fix this, or I got to go finish cooking that. I thought tonight I would whip up my famous banana bread, so I'll be doing that for the next little while.
I'll be in the garage. or there's so much to do. I'm going to take my dinner up to the office and complete my work there.
Yeah. Or, oh my God, my friend is in a crisis. I'm going to go over and see them, or I got to, we're going to do that Zoom call with them. I'll be gone for a couple hours.
I signed up for a marathon.
Yeah, I signed up for a marathon.
So conversation can't happen if you're not in the room, if you're not present with someone. And while it feels like I'm avoiding, or we're not having an argument.
Yes.
The relationship ends up turning very polite.
Yeah.
Very hollow. How are you, dear?
Oh, I am quite lovely today. And you?
I am good, thank you.
Oh, isn't it lovely weather we're having?
And so there's no connection. Then you just cohabitate in a room.
So the elephant is in the room with you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But you're both acting like no one sees it.
Yeah, and so while
it becomes awkward and uncomfortable, and you start to feel estranged from your partner.
And that becomes a very expensive problem down the road.
And so the answer is the 24-hour rule.
Yeah.
Meaning, when you have something coming up within you, speak it and let your partner at least know that it's there within 24 hours of you experiencing it. Don't let it go beyond that.
Yeah, no more sweeping under the rug because you got a big dust bunny underneath there. So you don't have to talk about the whole thing. You just have to start and address it. So you can turn to your partner and say, hey,
that thing that we talked about at dinner yesterday, it's still sitting with me. It doesn't feel done for me. And I'd like to find a time where we could talk about it.
Mm-hmm. By making an appointment to talk about stuff, you're showing your commitment to airing it out and talking. It's not a commitment to, let's argue tonight, but it's saying, let's talk this out. Because if things don't get dealt with, you're just piling up all the hundreds of conversations that really need to get done. You really need to process stuff out so that your energy keeps moving, our connection keeps moving, so that we're not getting backed up.
Yeah.
Emotionally.
Emotionally clogged.
Yeah. So resentment about a topic just means that it's composted.
Yeah, it's composted angst, and so and that's not going to smell good.
And number 5 is isolation.
Ooh, I like this one. Why? Because I do this. So maybe I should just take over right now. You can just sit back, enjoy a drink, and I'll explain. So isolation, sometimes also known as dysfunctional independence.
Or lone wolf.
Yeah, or lone wolf. I can't even say it. Lone wolf.
Yeah.
It's because you're not feeling safe and you have this story that no one gets you or gets you the way that you need to. And so you're just, or no one's going to do it as good as you or the way you
would want it to be done.
The way you want it to be done. So you're just going to take it on yourself. You're like, you know what the easiest thing is? I don't need anybody. I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah.
And so you end up isolating and removing yourself from people, from connection, in an attempt to keep yourself safe. And while, yes, you will create temporary safety, the illusion of safety,
mm-hmm.
in creating disconnection, you're actually undermining what you really want.
Yeah, because we heal in connection. We were wounded in a relationship, and therefore we will get healed in connection, in relationship, not behind some locked door.
Somewhere along the way, you learn that people are wounding, and so less exposure to people,
and
the
go
better.
it alone.
Go it alone.
Yep.
And so the solution is, and depending where you are on that spectrum, is to start reaching out, start sharing more of yourself with someone, start doing things with someone, start opening up. It can be little by little.
Little vulnerabilities to share your day or say, can you help? Or sure, let's do it together. And so that you can allow people into the co-creation experience.
And you can teach your nervous system that you can keep yourself safe in the presence of another human being. Because vulnerability is not a big unload, it's actually a small drip.
Yeah. Let's move to questions from the community.
Okay.
This is from Sophie.
Okay.
My partner completely shuts down during arguments. It feels like I'm arguing with a wall, and then days later, he acts like nothing happened. How do I get them to stay in conversation without turning into a blow-up?
How do I get them to stay in conversation without turning into what?
And without it turning into a blow-up.
Oh, without it turning into a blow-up.
Watch this video.
That's step one. Actually, here's the thing not to do after you watch this video, is to then go, hey, yeah, you're the ghoster, you're the avoider, you know, you're the fixer. So
people don't love being identified or labeled.
Yeah.
That never works.
What we're doing actually is we're identifying behaviors. We prefer not to actually put the in front of these labels. It's about identifying behaviors and patterns so we understand ourselves better, not so that we can attack better.
That's so good. Because, if we focus on behavior can change. Label, not so much. You're stuck with the label. And so if you're the silencer, well, how do you move out of that label? So stick with behavior and talk about behavior only, not the label.
And so now, Sophie, to get to your question, so you want to start with, when obviously you want to connect with your husband, and when he's stonewalling you or he's shutting down, first thing to know is something's going on within him. So this is a pattern and a habit that he learned on how to protect himself. And protect could be keep himself safe. It could be also how he learned to get his way. Like the only way he ever got a need met is to force his need to be met. So something is happening. And
I think that's really clean. When you see shields going up or defenses going up, literal defenses are to protect. That's not an attacking position. That's a defending position. So you defend to protect yourself. That's what the armor is, to protect the inner, softer, vulnerable side.
And why it's important to have that in your heart or in your consciousness somewhere. Not so you go, oh, poor baby, it's okay that you do that to me. No. Not at all, because that behavior actually isn't helpful. It's not appropriate to...
Because it's just judging his withdrawal.
And but it helps on the energy you bring and how you set up your energy and the language you use when you address him. Because instead of attacking him back like he's the enemy, and shame on you, you did something bad, instead you bring compassion and you say, okay, listen, I know you have something going on, but whatever it is, this is not the way to address it. Mm-hmm. And you name it. When you shut down and I feel you, I experience you as a stone wall, it causes me to feel threatened, it causes me to feel disconnected, I feel punished, and in the end, I move away from you, and I don't want that for us.
Yeah, and it's not getting what we want.
Yes.
And so the next part is to speak the positive need, which is, I'd like us to stay connected. I'd like us
to find a way
to have this conversation that keeps us both here. I want to find a way so that both of us keeps our shields down.
Will you work on that with me?
Mm-hmm.
And
sometimes the last thing to add into the relational space is words. Mm-hmm. Sometimes don't speak. Just be there. And so if you feel like he's walling up, just stay on the couch. You don't have to be like right close to him. You can just be on the couch and just like, I'm here and I want to connect when you're ready. And let me know.
By doing that, you're saying, I'm not going anywhere. I'm safe. But I'm also not a pushover. I am setting a boundary, which is I'm not going to take the bait or engage in a battle.
Yeah. Anyway, hope that helps.
Yeah, thanks for your question.
Marcus, my mom still guilt trips me for not visiting, even though I'm now married with kids of my own. I end up giving in to just keep the peace, but I'm exhausted. How do I set boundaries without being the bad son? There you go, there's another label. How do you set boundaries without having that crappy label of bad son, yeah.
Well, first of all, Marcus, thank you for your question, because you just spoke the question for millions of people. Mm-hmm. Because parents guilting their kids to visit, it's rare that a child, I think, visits the parent to the frequency that they like. Yeah. So this is a really common issue.
You can watch our video on generational guilt, because it speaks all about that.
Oh yeah, great. Yes. So, and then after that, come back to this answer.
Yeah.
So how do you do it? Well, what was it? Keeping the peace?
Yeah, keeping the peace.
So first of all, you may actually have to abandon keeping the peace. Let's start with that. We're going to dive right in, because you taking care of your need may actually go against what your parents' need or want is, and they may not like that.
And so someone's going to be disappointed. Your parent or you? Who are you going to pick?
In a situation where someone is employing guilt, it is a win-lose situation. And that's unfortunate, because you don't want to have to be in those, in negotiating under those terms, because ultimately you don't want to lose.
Well, actually, I think it's a lose-lose, because while you show up for the event that your mom wants you to, she knows you're only there out of obligation. She can feel it. She knows that you would rather be doing anything else than showing up at this family event one more time. And so she's not really happy. So she'll feel
I'm going to say sometimes actually, some parents, I'm going to speak for the ones I know, they actually don't know that you're there only for guilt. If they tuned in enough, they would. But someone who is employing guilt all the time actually isn't that tuned in. And they may just think, I know better for you. No, it's better that you're here.
Whether they speak it or not, I think parents can know when their children would rather be somewhere else. Yeah. They may not speak it, they may not say it, but I think the parents know that they're living a lie. They know, oh, my children are only here out of obligation, not because I've created a warm atmosphere to invite them back, but they're complying. So I don't think the parent is happy, and definitely you're not happy. And that's the most important part, is the relationship that you're continuing on with one of obligation and compliance? God.
So I think first is within your own self, you want to be clear that you setting boundaries and taking care of yourself and knowing what your rights and freedoms are, because you are an independent person. You may be their biological child, but you are an individual unto yourself, and as an adult, you have your own rights. So being clear that when you are setting boundaries or you're saying no, you're not being a bad person.
Yeah.
You're not being unreasonable.
Yeah.
Actually, you are accessing what is your birthright and what is health. So that's the first thing.
Sorry, but you're also not never showing up. So it's not like canceling the relationship. It's not like you're never showing up. The boundary is just, it's not every time she asks. So it might say, sorry, Mom, we won't be making it this time, but we'll see you next time.
And if you want, you can, and again, depending on the nature of your relationship and where you're at, but I'm a big fan of trying to address it first with them and saying, hey, Mom, when you say it this way, when you guilt me to come, it actually makes me not want to come. Or when I show up, I'm here in body, but I'm not here in spirit and in connection. And it's not helping our relationship.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Because you're feeling like you can share. I don't feel free. I feel like my choice is pre-decided for me. And I'm not a fully fledged human being that knows how to direct their life.
I'm a fan of addressing what the energy is and the behavior is first as a first step, because often when people are behaving that way, they're doing it because they've been conditioned to behave that way, and they're not even aware, because this is just how they grew up or what was done to them, and they're not aware of the impact they're having. And sometimes when you point it out, now that they know, they want to do better and they'll work with you on it.
The thing about putting up these boundaries, you know the other person is not going to be happy about that boundary. Reassure yourself that I'll get through it. No one's dying. It's not that big of an event. You just have upset people. But you're not a bad human being for having a boundary to take care of you and specifically your kids. You have your own family. You're an equal member of society. You get to make decisions to say, not this weekend or not this event. We'll see you at the next one. So hope that helps.
Thanks for your question.
Diego in Toronto.
Okay.
My best friend cancels plans last minute all the time. I don't want to blow up at him, but I feel disrespected and like our friendship is one-sided. How do I call him out without wrecking the friendship?
Okay, Diego. Great question, especially in our cancel culture.
Yeah.
I think we hear stories like this more often. But I mean, and we've experienced it. Anyone experiences it. And so, in a situation like that, when your friend is canceling on you
last minute,
then you want to start with addressing how you're feeling and the impact it has. Again, sometimes people don't realize that what they're doing is such a bad thing, because in their mind they're like, well, I'm a good person, I have a good reason, I'll make it up to them later, or hey, I'll let them cancel on me, so it's fair game.
Yeah.
And maybe that's, again, an environment that's how they grew up, so they're like, that's just how it's done. So start with giving them the benefit of the doubt. I mean, if you've been friends, especially for a while, then there's obviously something about this person that you really like and connect with. So try and preserve that, and talk to them. Say, hey man. Sounds so weird when I say it. This is the third time that you canceled last minute, and it's really beginning to bother me. I'm feeling unimportant.
Yes.
I feel like you do not, you're not considering the impact it has on me, because not only do I set up plans with you because what we're doing is fun, but I actually want to see you. So when you cancel, I'm disappointed I don't get to hang with you.
I feel cast aside.
Yeah. I feel unimportant.
I feel disposable.
And I feel superseded by your more important life. Like whatever you have to do is more important than what I have to do, and that you don't actually take me in and the impact that you have.
Where this may go is that your friend may say, well, I just won't make plans with you anymore. And therefore you get to say, that's fine, and allow the relationship to change and maybe even end.
This is why sometimes we don't bring it up, because sometimes we have a sense we know the people and we're like, they're not going to take well to this feedback. And so they may end the friendship if I say something, or the friendship will never recover from me saying anything. And if that's the case, then it's actually not a strong, healthy friendship that you probably want to save.
I would move to a group setting so that, if you make plans with this friend, it's like at a party or a group outing or a group dinner, so that if your friend doesn't show up, oh well, you have your other 6 friends that are there with you. And so you kind of expect that they're probably going to cancel and back out anyway. And so you sort of take that friendship as like icing on a cake. They're not cake.
Yeah, they're not the cake. They're
icing.
They're the icing.
When they show up, it's fine. But you investing less in that relationship because their behavior is showing that they're investing less in you. Something or someone else is taking a higher priority than you, especially because this is a repeated pattern in your life. And
you can set a time aside to bring it up and actually go out of your way to say, hey man, can we have a chat? Or the next time you make plans, you can use that as the opportunity. There's your doorway to say, hey, I know we're making plans. You've canceled on me the last 3 times. So should I be putting this in pen, or am I using pencil and keeping a big eraser nearby?
Yeah.
Because something is happening, and you can address it at that moment. Anyway, hope that helps.
Yeah, I hope that helps. Sophia asks, my partner and I started out really passionate, but now it feels like we're just roommates running a household. How do I know if we're still in this relationship for love, or is it just now convenience?
Okay, great question, Sophia. All relationships take a turn. In the beginning, we've got chemistry on our side. We've got newness on our side. And so all that passion and all that newness and interest and getting to know each other is there. And particularly if you haven't, at this stage, you don't have any kids. But because once you start adding routine, work, and then if you add pets and kids and things like that, now our energy becomes split into other directions. Now we have to use energy up in other places. We become more tired. And it's really easy for your relationship to become same old, same old. Yeah.
When you think about the beginning of your relationship, you and your partner probably put a lot of investment into date night. Like, what your hair and what you're going to dress, where the dinner is, what you're going to drink.
Actually making one.
Yeah, like there's so much in investment into date night. You put a lot of energy and effort into that.
You would even put energy and effort into hearing each other on date night. Like, I'm hanging on your every word.
But then over time, because things are pulling us in directions, then there's less investment into the relationship. And so many times when I'm talking to clients about how to help them, the first goal is, yes, we're going to work on conflict management skills so that your conflicts are more productive. But my next point is like, yeah, but what are you doing when you're not arguing?
Yeah, when you're not fighting, what are you doing in your relationship?
What is that? What's here when you're not arguing? And this is sort of the cause of many relationships just to slowly erode, is that there's not the investment in us.
There's a lot of stagnation. It's like a pond. It becomes a bit of a stagnant, lifeless pool of energy. And so contrary to the river, that is flowing and raging, but life breathes into it. And that's why you have more life living in it, because it's changing and always refreshing itself.
Yeah. So for you and your partner, I would suggest engaging in activities or behaviors that take you off of the autopilot. So maybe it's making dinner. So it could be, let's go shopping for this recipe. You look the recipe up, let's go shopping for it, I'll help you with it, and let's cook that. And maybe that's a meal that we do, and we have some for us and we give some of the meal to a friend or something. Like, that's an activity. Or let's work out together. Let's go shopping together. Let's bike ride together.
And let's just make sure we have a coffee date once a week where we just come together and we talk. We can talk about us. We can talk about something we're working on.
But the focus is not having a coffee date and then it's like, yeah, we're having coffee and I'm over on my phone.
Yeah, phone's down.
It's
no distractions.
That date night is actually about us. Yes. Our relationship, our connection, not okay. So we gotta vacuum the house and we gotta clean and dust
Did you call about a mortgage?
All that kind of stuff. Like, it's none of that stuff. It's just about the union, and that's putting energy into the relational space, investing, turning towards each other to say, you are important to me, and I'm going to show that with my attention and my engagement and the preparation for this event together.
Our nervous systems actually are designed to create efficiency and put as much of our life as possible on autopilot, which is another reason why we actually have to put effort into maintaining the newness and the freshness. And so many people, we fall in love. It's so easy and effortless. Yes, because we have all that chemistry and newness, as we just talked about, on your side. But to maintain and sustain a healthy, thriving, long-term relationship is work.
Yeah. Hope that helps.
Thanks for your question. So if you felt like we got you today, hit subscribe, because we drop practical tools every week.
And next up, watch this next video, Stop Drifting Apart, the 5 rituals that you can do to rebuild connection with your partner.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.